everyone. I was thinking about the video on the camper, and it didn't show you exactly how we sealed the corners on it, so I thought that I would take and give you a small example of how we sealed the corners on the camper. They're kind of sealed on sealed on sealed, as you'll see. If we look down here, I've made a makeshift camper corner. I only had one piece of aluminum left from the siding, and so this piece is going to represent the opposite corner on the camper. So what we did first off, right here on the table you'll see the different butels we have. This one's 3/4 inch wide, this one is 1 inch wide. That is because on the corner trim it's fatter on one side than the other. So the 3/4 fits here, the 1 inch fits here, and I'll just show you that in a moment, how that all goes together. We also have excess butyl that's squeezed out of the corners and under the trims as we put it together. Now we used some of this in the start, but then we started getting butyl squeezing out, and we started using it like so. So here would be our camper corner, and we went along between the two tins and we literally filled this, like it was squeezed in there hard. I'm not getting too technical with it here on the kitchen table. I'm trying to balance everything. We have one still picture in the video actually that shows it, and this is completely full of butyl here, pressed in there hard, so that seals it. Here we have the Dicor Seal Tight corner tape. That would have been next on our step. I'll just cut a short piece off here to give you the example. We would have peeled this back now. And that tape, I'll go over this hump and into this valley to give you an idea. Oh, it's sticky stuff. We would have stuck it on one side like so. And you can just pull it tight. You can do whatever you want with it. It stretches amazingly well. And then we would have wrapped that around over top of our butyl tape and onto our other existing siding. So that corner is now actually watertight right there. It's watertight. Next, we cut short pieces of butyl to fit in the valley here. I'll just do this one actually. And you bring it right to the corner, put it in the lowest part of the valley, push it down in there and squeeze it in. Now we'd have to get your fingernail under there and get the paper off. Oh, come on. There we go. And then you take a longer piece to bridge the valley, or almost bridge the valley. We notice that as you buy this butyl tape from different suppliers, one might be a little thicker in the tape itself than the next person. But overall it all works out well, because if you're finding the butyl tape is higher than your tin here, it really molds really nice and easy with your finger. You can manipulate it however you wish. But this is, you know, we had the butyl in the crack, now we have the tape sealer on there, now we have butyl again. Now we'll get our corner trim, which is 3/4 inch wide on one side and 1 inch on the other. We take the 3/4 butyl tape and we lay it in there, and we try and fit it in fairly tight to the corner. And the paper sticks out a little bit. You can manipulate it around. It's not hard at all. Run that down your trim. We took the trims and the tin and wiped it down with isopropyl. I don't have any here with me right now to show it to you, but excuse me, the isopropyl, yeah, we just took that and wiped it down. Worked very good. And for cleaning it, taking any grease or dust or dirt off there. Now you would take this and you would peel that paper out of there. And if it's a little crooked, just pull it back up, realign it, stick her back down. This is on every camper when you buy it. They have butyl in the corners. Now you would take the 1-inch piece, and again stick it down. And you could use 3/4 again on the same side if you wanted, but we liked to try and fill the corner right absolutely full of butyl, so it was squirting out actually. And I can't probably make it do it, but I'll explain what happens here with it squirting out as I'm talking about. Get this paper started here. Sometimes it grabs good. Once you tip it backwards, you can pull it off pretty nicely. And then again, as I said, you could realign it. We tried to get it so there's no crack in here at all. And the butyl will then be right snug and tight one to the other, like so. Finished. Now that trim is ready to go on. Now that will go on like so, tight there and down and around. And what we did is now you put your screws in here, not straight in, on an angle, not a 45 too much, but just a slight angle, so that as it pulls this trim in this way and squeezes out here, it also pulls the trim this way onto the camper, and it winds up squirting out on this side here. Now if you look up here on the top, you will see the butyl right here is already starting to come out. So I'm only pushing with my hands. And this here we would just cut off with a like a plastic knife after, so it doesn't scar the tin here at all, or the enamel paint on the tin. And what we did, once we've scarred this off, that's where we had this extra butyl come from. And we use that, of course, in other joints after that, because it's perfectly clean and brand new. What we were told is once you screw this on, I did tap it with a rubber hammer. No one mentioned that to me, but I tapped it, and then we took the vehicle for I think 2 different drives, taking it down the road, letting it jostle and wiggle, and that butyl does work out from under there. We re-snugged the screws, any that were loose, most weren't, and then a little bit more butyl might have came out, and we just trimmed that off again and put it in our ball of butyl to be used elsewhere. Once that was sealed and tightened down, we left it for over a week before we then take our product here of ProFlex RV flexible sealant, and then we caulked on this side of the trim. So this would be gone. I don't have my plastic knife, so we'll cover that part up there. We caulked on this side and we caulked on this side. Once that was done, now the screw heads in here, whenever I've taken them out of campers that were old, they were always rusty and water had gotten in there. Now I know it goes through this butyl tape, you can see it in the back of that hole, but what we did to ensure more sealant, we took our screw head, imaginary screws there, and we covered it like this in butyl tape. Every screw head on the camper, we went around and we covered every trim with butyl tape like that. Once they were all covered, hopefully this will stay in place for me. Here is your vinyl trim that goes in and covers your screw heads. You can see on this end I've cut it on a kind of a pointed angle. That is to fold like so. We're going to imagine that this is the top or the bottom of the trim on the camper. So I folded that around the back, slid it in there, just wiggling this down into the crack, getting it started. There we go, it's starting to go in. I would pull this down in here snug and tight like so, and then I worked along and put on over top of all of our screws that are already all butyled our sealant trim now. Then that wasn't enough. Then I took Pro-Flex RV again in it. This one is white. I took it in clear and I sealed the top, only the tops of these, so that water cannot get in up here. If it got in along the edges here, it can get out at the bottom. But that's how our corners are sealed. So we actually have numerous layers on layers of seals on the camper corners, the windows, the trims, around the cubby doors. Everything was done exactly the same way. So it's watertight. We're praying and hoping it will last for years to come without any damage at all. So it's a trial, but it has numerous layers of sealant on there. So hope you enjoyed that little video. This is the corner tape that we use on our camper. It's called Seal-Tight Corner Seal Tape. It's 1.5 inches wide, 50 feet long. Basically the roll, here we are here, was the same size as this white paper. And when we got it, when it was 50 feet long, this is some we have left. It is a little bit bendy and stretchy, so if you go over a hump or something, it will contour to it a bit. Once you take this clear side off, this stuff is tremendously adhesive. And it was pretty expensive. $1 a foot is what we paid. Just wanted to let you know what we used on the trims for sealing on the camper, around the windows, stuff like that. This Pro-Flex RV is a sealant, flexible sealant. I find it very strong, very good, adheres super well, way better than silicone or anything like that. This tube is used, just a little bit dirty. But you could get it in clear, you could get it in white, I believe black. That one we used on the trims, around the windows, doors, all that sort of stuff, all the vents and covers and things. This one is lap sealant, self-leveling. This is what we used up on the roof. Anywhere we were around the skylights, fridge vents, all those sort of things. And this again, lap sealant, we got it in white. I don't know if you can get this one in any different colors, but again, a very good product, very good. So we put down, I believe, around our roof, yes we did, we put that Dicor tape on there first, and then we put the lap sealant on over top of that. So we actually have 2 layers on those also. Very strong, very good products, and I would recommend them. Okay, thank you.